Hello and welcome to my live stream. I actually, for once, feel pretty confident that we have audio. I think not having audio yesterday made me realize that I know what's going on. I know why, when we don't have audio, why we don't. So I'm going to check, just see what's going on, and then we'll get on our way. My brain is an absolute dumping ground of obscure pop culture stuff though. So, do you remember cosplay phenomenon Yaya Han? Well, there used to be a show, and I'm sure she existed and thrived outside of this show. And I actually am going to look Yaya Han up and make sure there haven't been any updates that I should heed. Yaya Han, entertainer and author. Okay, cool. There was like a show about cosplay, like Heroes of Cosplay or whatever, and Yaya Han was like the great revered cosplayer, and it used to be like a joke, like not a joke, it became a joke in my household. But like she was such a good cosplayer that she used to be able to be like, yeah, flip my seams, you know what I mean? Like check the inside seams of her cosplay because they were going to be impeccable. And so that became like in my household, we would be like, yeah, like flip my seams as like a like really you're gonna challenge me, you know? And so while I was talking about checking the audio, I was in my mind going to say, "Oh, I'm gonna flip the seams still." And so then I realized I should give context. Unneeded, unnecessary, but I do hope you had fun with it. I did. Basically though, today we're going to talk about the TikTok ban, and I'm going to bring a different flavor to this conversation from everyone else. Everyone else is kind of talking about everyone's having very nuanced discussions about it, and I want to be clear that that is not my goal here today. My goal is to rather have fun and I want to reject modernity, embrace tradition, and remind everyone of everything that we built before TikTok took it and made it infinitely cooler and more accessible and became a wonderful place for people to connect, information to circulate, and I don't know, like to participate in the free marketplace. That is one thing. My friend, she is like, she was my roommate and she's just one of my best friends and she's brilliant and I love her so much. And one thing that she consistently does is she will talk about things and then like a couple years later, it feels like it becomes a cultural moment. Like it feels like this insight that she has had or this discourse she has started in like our living room so like pretty quickly after or like a year later will be in the collective conscience. I always mix it up, but whatever, I'm not gonna fall down that rabbit hole. But like it feels like it becomes a thing that a lot of people are talking about and I'm always like, well, she said it first. And the other day we were talking about the TikTok ban, and she was talking about how like actually bad that's going to be for our economy when you think about how much we buy stuff from TikTok, whether it's from TikTok Shop or just consult other creators on TikTok before we buy something. I certainly know I do that. Slash, I guess the consumer culture has thrived on TikTok where I feel like influencers have really become a thing with the advent of short form content and creation on TikTok. Definitely just digital content in general. I think the YouTube beauty space became the beauty industry became like a multi-billion dollar industry. It already was, but it became even more so because of the beauty creators on YouTube. That's no secret. And I feel like TikTok kind of did its own thing with that. So yeah, that is like just a piece of the pie of the conversation that everyone is having right now. And before TikTok, we had YouTube and Vine, which is more comparable. But so today I'm gonna hit some of the YouTube traditions, and this is also because this is my first day using this bag. So I'm gonna do a what's in my bag video, and I'm also gonna do a get ready with me. This is all content brained selfishness because once again, I did just get a new bag and I kind of want to do my makeup and I have the tools to do so. And so we're going to make it content. Yay, she's so smart. Okay, so this is the Baggu large sling bag. I have the small and now I have the large. The small, it's such a stark difference to me, the size between small and large, but they don't make a medium to my knowledge. So I don't know. And this is the color seaweed, I think. What I really like about the sling bags is I like this like overhang stiff nylon. I don't know what it is. This just like, I think it's chic. So I have that. This is the bag. And then I have this Baggu Cat laptop sleeve. This is the 16-inch. And I'm pretty bummed actually about how my laptop fits in it. It kind of doesn't. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe the silica gels were taking up too much space. I have the M2 chip or whatever. My work laptop is the M2. And so it's like a heftier boy than one would expect. I think my personal laptop may fit in this a bit better. I haven't tried yet. But one thing about me is I really love oranges. I think these technically, they're kind of built like apples, but they look like oranges. But yeah, I like really love oranges. So that's like, I love oranges and cats. And then this little pottery, the pottery flowers I think are cute. Are there chess pieces on here too? Oh, it's candlesticks. I don't know. It's just like actually the perfect little pattern for me. I thought it was cute. So I grabbed that for my laptop, and I think the colors on them complement nicely because see, I think that may be seaweed right there. So they match. And then my everyday bag that I threw in here too is more of an evergreen color, green. And then there's some greens in there that tie the two greens together. So the color story we're working with, I feel like, is cuter. So there's that. Then I have this. Am I doxing myself? Let me make sure. No. My address is on this side, though. I have this 3-pack of little mini notebooks. And I mentioned yesterday that I want to journal more in the new year. And this is kind of part of that. I want to get better at jotting down ideas. And this is kind of vulnerable to admit. I think being earnest and wanting to get better at anything can kind of feel vulnerable to admit. But I used to do improv, and I used to have funny ideas all the time, and I would write down funny ideas and funny bit ideas. And whether I do improv anymore or not, I do feel like coming up with ideas like that and keeping track of them and revisiting them and workshopping them, I do feel like that is a bit of who I am. And it is not at all who I have been. And so, as I think I tend to do, I bought something to signify that epiphany and hopefully make something productive of it. I don't like these little pins, so I'm probably not going to use the little pins. But I got some mini notebooks because one of my friends in college, she was older than me, though, so I kind of more so looked up to her than she was a friend. But she would carry little mini notebooks, and she had like mini notebooks and mini notebooks and mini notebooks full of, she was a stand-up, so she had bit ideas written down everywhere. And like, whether anything comes of that or not, I like the idea of building that muscle and starting that practice. And so I got some mini notebooks because who knows? That's the person I want to be in a year. Whether or not I will be her in a year, who knows? Not her specifically. That'd be crazy. I want to wear her skin. No. But I think that's like a cool practice, and I would like to get more in touch with that version of myself that I was when I was doing improv more regularly, and I would have creative ideas and really think about them, and would be particular about word choice and stuff, because things like that matter and are important to how improv and comedy work, but also life. Life. It's all about life. So I have those mini notebooks in my bag. God dang, I'm a talker. Keeping it moving. I've got a glasses case. These are my everyday glasses. And so whenever I come to work not wearing my everyday glasses, I like to have my everyday glasses in case I have a crisis midday. I'm obviously being dramatic. It's not a crisis. But if I have a crisis midday and like feel like I need to look like myself again, I will put on my regular glasses. So, not sponsored, but literally all my glasses are from iBuyDirect. I have probably single-handedly been keeping them alive as a company for years. I have so many pairs of glasses and I do love them. So, they used to be based out of Austin too, I think. I have this little black bandana scarf. I just finally washed it. Something about me is I used to have this folded up in my desk, and we used to not have paper towels at work in the office, and so there were a couple times where I got a little desperate and would wipe things up with that bandana. And so I finally took it home and washed it, and now it's clean. And so I threw it into my bag this morning. Not to wipe up my desk with again, but just because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing with my outfit this morning. And it kind of almost was like an emergency accessory in case I needed it. Don't ask me. I don't know. Keeping it moving. I have this. I think I've shown this many times before. This is my USB-C flat iron. I need to charge it. The charge does not last on this, but you know what? It does the job because I really just got this for my bangs. So I think if you need this for your hair, it's a flop. Like, it won't be helpful. You're not going to like it, but it works really well for what I need it for, which is just a little bit of hair. So I like it. I also feel like I've used it on the collar of a shirt before because sometimes I'm a mess and I come to work with wrinkly clothes and I shouldn't. Oh, slay. I forgot I had this in here. Okay, AirPods. That's not what I was talking about. And then this is like my holy grail product. This is the R Plus Co. Again, I learned about this on TikTok Shop. I think I bought it. Did I buy it from TikTok Shop? I think I got it from Amazon. God, it smells so good. This is dry shampoo paste. So it's like hair pomade, but it's dry shampoo. And if you have bangs and oily skin, I have bangs and oily skin. Oh my God, like this is such a lifesaver. I was feeling like haggard. So I was leaving for work today. So I brought like so much stuff to help myself feel less haggard. And I think that's also part of why we're making content out of what's next. I'm going to do my makeup, I think. But I'm going to talk while I do it. Like, we're going to keep it moving. Don't worry. I just bought this and I almost immediately had buyer's remorse because this was like not an economical choice. This is like an expensive makeup bag and it's the holiday edition. That's why it's sparkly silver. It does feel like patent leather. I don't think it is, but it does feel like it at least. It's nice and I like it and it sparks joy. Sometimes you just have to pay more than you should have for something that is kind of cute. So in my makeup bag, oh, what's cool about it too, I haven't done this yet, but it has this organizer inside. It's this like red felt that comes out, which I may take it out. I don't know how much I love it, which is stupid because it's part of what makes this makeup bag unique and cool and worth the extra money a little bit. But it has this felt stuff that you can organize your makeup in. And then the rest of the is just kind of so. But yeah, people know it's like next to impossible to keep your makeup bag clean. Since I spent so much money on this one, I really want to keep it clean. Also, like, I'm fully being dramatic about it. There are plenty of people who like buy like Louis Vuitton makeup bags. Like, people spend a lot of money on a lot of things. This was not that bad. Just like, it was sort of an impulse buy because they were having a holiday sale, and now I own this. So I'll do my makeup in a bit, but that's also in my bag. I don't normally keep a makeup bag in my backpack or my work bag, but I did today. And then claw clip, obviously. I think that's from Target. Yeah, I think it came with a black one and a tortoise one, and I liked that it was matte. It's a bit big though. The teeth are kind of big too. It holds my hair fine, but I can get away. I have really thin hair, so I can get away with using really small claw clips. So this sometimes feels a bit much, but it's pretty. It's a statement piece. Sometimes you need a claw clip just for that, just to tortoiseshell up a bag. So yeah. I guess without further ado, I guess now I'm going to do a quick little get ready with me. Now that you've seen everything, I've talked a little bit more about my New Year's intentions because that never gets old, right? I'm sure everyone loves listening to other people talk about themselves and their goals. We must, though, considering short form video content and influencing has like actually been the wheel reinvented, and how our economy has been, I don't know, functioning for a while. Okay, so I'm crazy and I don't really do anything to get, well, actually that's not true. I generally wear one of those little puffy headbands when I do my makeup, but since I'm wearing headphones right now, I'm gonna do that. I also just saw a TikTok where, and I liked this girl's vibe. I thought she was funny, but she was talking crap about girls who wear their makeup headbands out in public. And I had a big wearing my makeup headband out in public era because it made me feel cute. One time my boss Wait, let me tell you what I'm doing though first. So I just used the Tower 28. This is like the antimicrobial spray. It's like not probably the best thing to put on your face before you do makeup, but I don't know. I just love the smell of pool water. Also, like, I'm a big sensory person. Like, I care about how things feel more than they look. And so I'm using that. And then I just put on some mint lip balm. My sister got this for me for Christmas. Cute. Okay, but yeah, one day I wore one of my headbands to work, and my boss came. He like will stop by sometimes on his way out, and we'll salute each other. / he'll just be like, I'm going home, have a good day, see you tomorrow, whatever. One day I was wearing that headband at my desk because I was having a sensory moment with my bangs. He was like, oh, I like your head thing. And it was funny because he was being so nice, but I was like, hey, I know it's like big and a lot. I know this is unique. That's okay. This is a new mirror I just got too. It's got my dry shampoo pomade on it. Weird. But I just like broke my other mirror. So looking forward to the 7 years of bad luck from that. But yeah, It's just I like the size of it. I like to use as big but not too big and as thin but not too flimsy a mirror as possible. I am already really fed up with the hinge of this though. And so I may try and take it so that it doesn't have this lid. But it is meant to kind of stand up, I think. You can't see it, so I'm not going to waste time doing that. But I think it is sort of supposed to stand up a little. This is going to be really hard for me because I don't have my primer. And I usually use like the NYX Freezy primer. Once again, for sensory reasons. But I used a little too much of it yesterday, I think. And my makeup looked yucky, which is part of why I came to work without makeup on today, because it was just like not cute yesterday and I did not feel good about it. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna muscle through today barefaced and I think I'll feel better. I kind of feel fine, but I do think it would be nice to do a little makeup for the afternoon. And like, let's be so real, this is about the TikTok ban and about internet content. This is an exploratory commentary. And what would we be doing if we didn't have some sort of additional stimuli to accompany me talking to myself? It would not be content if I wasn't also distracting you with a task that you don't really care about. You're not really invested in. I don't really care about. I'm not really invested in. But it's just a casual little human task that we can relate to each other about. While I steal your time and waste away your life. That's content, baby. Cool. So you can't really see it, as certainly not as well as I just did, looking at it up close and personal in the mirror. But I have some lesions. That's how it feels. Any sort of, I have oily skin, hormonal acne. It's like, oh yeah, and just like walking around with open wounds. That's gross. It's like not. Like, we can all grow up. We can all just be productive and not think about it. Oh my God. This is something I've thought about. I don't want to be controversial, but I feel like everyone's like, yada, yada this, yada, yada that. Everyone has like this fun little, like, everyone wants to give their 2 cents on sensitivity and blah, blah, blah. You're snowflakes. Everyone wants to think that everyone else is overreacting about everything. And something that's been sitting in my Twitter drafts for a while that is very true to me is like, I feel like I am a sensitive person. I'll be real. I'm a sensitive person, but also I like to think I have a good sense of humor. I can laugh about a lot because I've had to laugh about a lot, because more often than not, I think the way that a lot of people in my family and in my life deal with their own things that are happening to them is they laugh about them and they make jokes about them. And so then naturally, I think when things happen to me that are maybe distressing, then we also make jokes about them and laugh about them. So I've had to get good at laughing at jokes that I'm not making, which I think is happening socially. I think we're all doing that. That is what I think a lot of social media is too. And we all just get a little bit up in arms. Well, something that I think is absolutely so funny about that sensitivity discourse is sometimes I think people define sensitivity in a certain way. And then to use the biblical illusion, the literary device, they don't get the plank out of their eyes while they're dealing with the speck in other people's eyes. And so they're like, blah, 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 blah. You're a snowflake. You blah, blah, blah. And it's like, boo, tomato, tomato. Like, I actually could dismantle you with a pimple patch. And that's exactly true. Yesterday, I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw a woman Karening about service workers wearing pimple patches. It's literally insane. I've had a Twitter draft for a while because it was just me. Like, it was a passing thought. I was being kind of just annoying and full of myself. But I was having a day where I was like, right. I'm the little girl. Because sometimes I'm just like, yes, I get it. I am 24. I'm a woman. Basically, without doing insane amounts of social commentary or trying to center myself as some sort of victim, because I don't have that kind of complex. And I don't think, anyway, we're not talking about that. Like, sometimes though, I am a little bit like, right. I'm the youngest too. I'm the youngest daughter. And so sometimes I'm like, yeah, I think we all think that I'm being a little dramatic and a little sensitive, and I think we're not taking me seriously, and that's fine. But like, just so we're all on the same page, I don't wear pimple patches around y'all because that's how little I think of your ability to acquiesce. Is that the right? Hold on, let me make sure. Because once again, like cope. Yes. That's how, yeah. Okay, boom, I nailed that word. I literally am like, sometimes, like, in the same way that there's that Dr. Rick, there's the progressive commercials where Dr. Rick teaches you how not to become your parents. They have a joke where they're like, we all see it, and he's trying to get the old people not to comment on the fact that there's like someone with blue hair at Home Depot. Like, that's literally how I feel about pimple patches, and like nothing but love and respect for the people around me. I think they are brilliant, and I think that they are capable of doing hard things. And I think that they are well attuned and plugged in to the world and have great ideas about it. And I think that they think about topics with nuance and are capable of really great growth and understanding. That doesn't mean that I think that they would know what to do if their waiter taking their order for Coca-Cola and a side of fries, I don't think they could handle it if that person had a star-shaped pimple patch on their face. And that was confirmed for me yesterday when I saw a woman absolutely fly off the deep end. Fly off the rails, go off the deep end. Because I've seen a lot of service workers that are showing up to work and are wearing pimple patches. Have you no pride? Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Insane. Absolutely insane. I'm sure there is a reasonable opinion in there somewhere. I read through the Twitter thread and couldn't find one. But I'm sure, I mean, that's not an obscene opinion to have. It's not that awful. It is absolutely built upon a foundation of not seeing service workers as people, I think, a bit. Maybe that's me overthinking it and being sensitive again. But I just like could not believe it. I was astounded because when I say like I don't wear pimple patches because I don't think the people in my life could handle it, I more so just mean that like I work with all guys and like I try to keep it very demure, very respectful with the size of winged eyeliner I wear sometimes because like I get it. I get it. We should keep it cute, keep it classy, whatever. And I do understand like I don't know. I get it. We're putting stickers on our faces like but also like sometimes we're all human beings. Like sometimes you got a lesion on your face and you need to wear a band-aid to work. Like it's the same thing. That being said, I will say this Twitter thread, the woman that was complaining, she did hold space for nude colored pimple patches, which is fine, but sometimes I feel weird about wearing nude colored pimple patches because then you can see with the hydrocolloid ones, you can see the moisture that it takes out of your pimple. And sometimes that like looks yuckier than and I'm only talking about my own personal preference and how I feel about when it's on me. I don't actually care what other people do in that regard. Um but sometimes I think like having the star sticker is actually a bit nicer looking, like nicer to look at in terms of masking the fact that it's covering up a wound that's leaking. Sometimes I think that little cutesy star rainbow ones are a bit more tasteful. Once again, I don't care. This is so not important that like that's what makes me so laugh so much about well, for starters, how long myself have been talking about it now on live stream. But the fact that like this woman made a Twitter thread. Really crazy. The concept, not her. I'm not trying to, I don't know. Blush, yay, fun. But yeah, I don't know. So funny. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Maybe a mistake, but we'll all survive. Yeah, I just thought it was so funny because that has always been like in the same way that like I think and this is a little bit actually what blew me away about the girl who was being funny once again. I think like her TikTok was really funny, but she was dragging other girls who wear those makeup headbands in public through the mud. And what I think is funny about that is like, girl, you know what it is. And I guess that's why she's dragging them, is because she knows like kind of the intended use for it is to wear it while you do your makeup. But like the day that I was wearing that makeup headband and my boss was like, I like your head thing and like was being really nice about it. But I could tell like this is an out of the ordinary thing and like you don't really get it. And like I don't have any feelings about the fact that you don't get it. And also like I feel a little silly. And you didn't make me feel silly. I just feel a little silly. You know what I mean? That's like how I took that moment and processed it. Not that it needed processing, just like, you know what I mean? And I like feel similarly, I think, about pimple patches where it's like I'm aware that like I have a sticker on my face and it's covering up the wound that I don't want people to be looking at, and I understand that it's probably making you look at it more. And even more than that, I like just know that like we're not at the level where this can be a hot pink star. This needs to be a circular nude colored band-aid. It can't be a sticker. You know? I think that's just been something I've regularly thought about because I prefer that kind of pimple patch, and yet I don't wear them to work because I just less about professionalism. I mean, we could talk about that too. I don't know how professional they really are. And I think that's kind of what the woman on Twitter was getting at, but also kind of like, girl, who cares? Like, I don't know. The person that is waiting on you at a restaurant isn't working for you. Like, they kind of are, but they're not working for you technically. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. It just seems like a crazy thing to be offended by and care about to me. And yet I do think about it and care about it in regards to my own self. I just like don't understand policing other people on it. I guess that's like my big takeaway. But it is funny because my dad needed a Band-Aid the other day. He cut his finger doing lawn work and he needed a Band-Aid. And the only Band-Aids we really had in the house were Baby Yoda Band-Aids. And so he used a Baby Yoda Band-Aid. And he was like, oh my gosh, this Baby Yoda Band-Aid is like staying on better than any Band-Aid I've ever used before. He was like blown away. But then he was like, I was having to talk to someone at work and I was pointing out like an error in code or something. Like, I don't know. Shows you how much I know. But he was like pointing at a screen and he was like, I realized halfway through I had a little Baby Yoda on my finger and I felt silly. And I think that's like, it was funny for me to hear that story because I'm like, oh, that's literally just a pimple patch. Like, that's literally the same thing. But I raised you, and now I am going to do social commentary with the caveat that I'm doing it through my lens. These are my opinions, and we can all feel however we want to feel, but I am going to do some social analysis on it. And we're all going to hold space for it and not be upset, right? Yeah. But I once saw a creator talking about how she takes business meetings to manicures with her. Like, sometimes she's like a boss at a company, and she was talking about how sometimes she will do meetings at the nail salon. And she talked about how it's kind of basically the same thing as when guys go golfing together. Now, I'm going to give the caveat or a disclaimer or whatever that, like, obviously those are two differently gendered experiences, and I'm not saying that either of them are fixed in one way or the other. I think we can all go golfing, we can all go get our nails done, but it was part of the commentary she was making that, like, why couldn't I take my business contacts to go get their nails done? It's just like when people go golfing together. And so I'm connecting that back to this, and then I'm saying we don't think twice. Like, you actually wouldn't think twice if some person that you worked with had like a Band-Aid on their finger. But for whatever reason, we feel differently about a pimple patch. And I would argue that it's because a pimple patch falls more in line with cosmetics, makeup, and I feel like we feel a lot more comfortable giving our opinions about hair, makeup, cosmetics in the workspace, I guess, because we have these ideas about professionalism. And so it feels like you can comment on them more. Like, it passes, I guess it goes past it being like, I guess, medical, and it becomes like an accessory thing. When I think like there can be overlap. Just like in a lot of the conversations that happen about dress code and hair and haircuts and piercings and culture and professionalism and what is called professional. You know, that's a thing that goes on that feels like it makes people's lives harder when if you take a step back and you look at it, it's like kind of why are you losing sleep over someone serving you a Diet Coke and a pimple patch? Weird, kind of weird. I don't know. Once again, these are just my thoughts that I'm sharing. And I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. But if it worked, that's great news. Just like, I don't know, don't argue with me. Slash the people that agree with me and want to extrapolate upon it because they think I'm leaving blanks that should be filled in with better nuance. Just know that I maybe agree with you that there's better nuance. But this is the internet and I am at work. And so there, you know, adding a little winged eyeliner. Still, once again, trying to be demure, mindful. I'm going to be real though. I am doing a bit more than I'm comfortable with my eyeliner right now. Like, this is a bit more than I would normally do for work. I think that's also a good thing that we should all just keep in mind. Our own personal comfort zones. Because what's comfortable for me may be different from what's comfortable for someone else. And I just would say that I'm a lot more focused on what's comfortable for me than what's comfortable for someone else. So I also can't really relate though to what may be comfortable for someone else making me uncomfortable. And so then maybe that's what's missing. I guess that's the space I guess I will hold for people who disagree with what I'm saying, or the people I disagree with, is I just kind of can't relate to that line of thinking. And so I recognize that may be the gap between our understandings. And so we'll hold space for that. That's literally fine. I think the world is full of lovely, lovely nuance, and I'm fine to sit back and observe and listen. But all right, I don't really know what this became. It became a lot of me talking. But I guess that's the point when you log on and live stream and reflexively when you log on and watch a live stream. So I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. I hope you don't think I'm spineless for towing the line so gently. And if you do, just understand it's actually not that I'm spineless. It's that I'm very understanding and I love nuance. And with no one else talking the other side of this point that I'm making, without this being a discussion, what else is there to do, really? Girl, like, what are you even saying? I don't know. I'm going to finish this up with, I don't use setting spray, so I'm not doing that. I'm going to apply a little bit more perfume. We're just doing a full-on freshen up moment. I did put on lip gloss, which is bad news because I'm about to do some voiceover stuff. And I think that's like not ideal. But okay. Should I do these glasses? I feel a bit like I should put on my normal glasses since I have a full face of makeup on now. I feel like we can go back to the regular schmegular glasses. Anywho, I hope you're having a great day. If somehow one of the 5 people that end up watching this live stream happens to be she whose Twitter thread I just talked about, once again, nothing but respect. I just like thought your Twitter thread was silly, but like silly is about the extent of the language I would use, and I think silly is an okay word. I think we can think that. I think we can think each other is silly, right? Anywho, have literally the best Tuesday ever. I hope you have so much fun. I hope you're having a great time. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube, Twitter extravaganza. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok extravaganza. Really, we did like a charcuterie board of content discussion. And I had a blast. I hope you did too. Okay. Bye-bye. I gotta talk less online because if you talk less online, there's less to overthink.